Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at the stations packet. We're looking at the stations packet. So it should be out in front of you. Okay? We're looking, this is number 1. This is station 1. So if you have station 1, you might want to look at this. Unfortunately, when I put it in Excel, it changes my decimals, my fractions to decimals. So when I'm looking at this, -2, we get 1/9. -1, we get 1/3. 0, we get 3. 0, we get 1. 1, we get 3. And 2, we get 9. Okay? So we can see we've got 4 different graphs right on here. As we can tell, when we change what we're multiplying in front, we change our A, that's what that's called, it changes how far up I go. I want you to also look at comparing the stations to each other. So if we look at station number 2, we've got a similar looking graph. But if we look at station 3, it looks completely different. How come that is? Why is this? Why does station 3 turn different? Yes, Joe? Because the numbers in front are negative. So it flipped us over. Instead of starting low and going up, okay, we started low and we went down because the numbers in front are negative. You need to be paying attention. Okay? So this is going to help us with our summary sheet. So we're going to turn to our last page, the summary sheet, and we're going to go over this. Okay? We've got exponential growth summary sheet. The general growth form for exponential functions is y equals ab to the x. Using the information from your 3 stations, what effect does A have on the graph? So what effect did you see? Well, when we made A negative, what happened? It went down. So we know that A affects it by telling us if it's negative or positive. If it's negative, it flips it over the x-axis.
I feel right in the next.
Okay? It also changes, it also changes where it crosses the y-axis. A changes where it crosses the x-axis, the y-axis, excuse me. Okay. Let's look at 2. So if you were to look at your sheet, and we were to look at the tables, where do you guys see A? Where do you see the A value? Yes, Kyle. At 0. So where does the A value appear on your table? It appears when x equals 0. Why do we think this is? Anything taken to the zero value is what? 1. So because b becomes 1, I'm going to move this up a little bit. Because b becomes 1, and anything, we call it raised, to the 0 value is 1. And anything times 1 is itself.
Isaiah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at 3. In general, this is harder. In general, what effect does B have on it? When I change the B value, how does the graph change? It shows how much the previous term is being multiplied by each term. So it changes the values of the graphs. The graph changes because it's either steeper or less steep. It changes how steep the graph is. I know, I'm ending with a preposition. All right, this is going to go away, unfortunately.
Hold on.
And I have to fix this. There shouldn't be any shouting or yelling. We're moving down to number 4. Where does the V value appear in the table? Can you see it in the table? You know how when you have 0, you can clearly see the A value? Is the B value like that? Stop. No. Okay? So it doesn't appear in the table. Except that the values change according to B. If you look at one value,
Is that a 4?
if you look, it doesn't. It's apostrophe T. If you look at one value, and then the next, if you look at one, we'll say Y value, and then the next Y, B is the change between them. Number 5, describe the B values used in this activity. What type of B values did not appear? Did anybody see any of the B values be a fraction? I saw A values be fractions. Did I see any of the B values? No. None of the B values were fractions. What effect do you think they would have on the graphs? Okay. So all of these graphs either started low and went up or started low and went down underneath it. So what do you think if we put a fraction in it? Do you think they would start low or do you think they would start high and go low? The graph would start low and get higher. Okay. And we call this exponential growth because it's going up, right? So if it was going the other way, what do you think that would be called? Exponential growth starts low and gets higher over time. The other one starts high and gets lower. Seated and silent, wait. This is your homework. You need to make sure your packet's finished, bring it in tomorrow. We're going to check it. Please stand up and push in your chair.
All the stations?
No.
That's your